Ramadan, the ninth month of the Islamic calendar, a time for Muslims to focus on religion and spend time with their families. During Ramadan, Muslims are obligated to fast every day from before sunrise to sunset for the entire month.
To break our fast, we must eat at sunset. This meal is called Iftar or Iftari. Today, I will be making what my family usually cooks for Iftari. Aloo chop, beguni, bhoot, piyaju, and some sort of fruit drink. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so first we're gonna start off with the bhoot. Keep this washed for a day at least, and then fill up a pot to a little bit halfway. Make sure it's submerged. Then we want to take this, put it on the stove, and we'll just boil this for a good 20 minutes. Since we are boiling the bhoot as well, we can also do the aloo chop. And aloo means potato. So right now what we're going to do is boil these potatoes and eggs together, so then we can make the filling for our aloo chop. Okay, so to make the piyaju, we need lentils, which is the main ingredient for it. You want to wash it very thoroughly with a lot of water, and you want to use a strainer to get rid of the water. Once you have it washed thoroughly, you want to take it to a blender or food processor and make sure that all gets in there. Okay. Then you're gonna make sure not to make it too, not to crush it too much. You want to make sure to pulse it, so you get a good texture. If you see it's not combining well enough, you want to add a bit of water. And return back to pulsing it to a good brown. Then end result should look something around like this. A little bit, just half done. Alright, once you have your good consistency of half cut, ground up, and half puree, you want to put all of it inside the bowl and leave that for making the piyaju itself. Alright, so next up for the beguni. Begun in Bangla means eggplant, and in this case we're using thin sliced eggplant. I'm gonna wash it well and keep it aside for cooking the actual begun. Right now what we have here is peshon, or what it is also called in English is gram flour. To this we're gonna add cumin, a little over 1 teaspoon, some turmeric, a bit of coriander, and a really small pinch of chili powder. In addition to this, we're going to add 1 spoon of salt and a little bit of garlic and ginger that we have made into a paste. To mix it all up, we're going to add a little bit of water and keep adding as we go. Alright, so as you mix it, we're going to add enough water each time to achieve a consistency that is not too thick and not too liquidy. This will help this batter attach to the eggplant better and end up as a better fried begun. Alright, now onto the aloo chop or aloo cutlet. You want to smash this up, give it a good consistency, a smooth consistency that will be available when you bite into the cutlet. Okay, so the next step is to take some of the onions and fry them in the pot. Make sure it's evenly spread around so it cooks through. Alright, so now you want to check on the boot, see if it is boiled down enough. And if it crushes like that, then it's ready to go. Now, we want to strain all that water. Keep the boot by itself. Be careful, it might be a lot of steam. And now we let it rest. So once you see that the onions are becoming a little bit caramelized, you're going to add some of the crushed egg that you have boiled in the potato pot. Let's add some of those. A little bit smaller than a teaspoon of cumin. And add a little bit of salt as well. Okay. And if you like spicy food, then you can, at this point, you can add some green peppers, chili peppers for spice. But we don't need that much spicy, so we're going to leave those out for now. Now it's time to add the potatoes that we've smashed earlier. Add those in and combine everything thoroughly. Okay. So once you have mixed everything really well, I'm going to add a bit of cilantro in the mix. You can be very generous with the cilantro, it will only make it better. You're going to turn off the stove. After taking it out of the pot, you want to let it rest in a separate bowl so you can then form it into the cutlets. Okay, now let's start cooking the boot. You want to have 2 tablespoons of oil getting warm, and add some onions to the pot. Make sure this cooks thoroughly and through. You want the onions to become soft to the touch. We're going to come back to the onions and add a bit of chili powder, some coriander, and turmeric to the mix. Once that has been done, combine all the spices and the onions together and make sure they fry properly. Okay, so after these are combined well, you take the boot, or also called chula, and you combine it with the mixture. Combine the chula with the onions really well. Now just add a bit of salt, okay? Combine it well. And now let the chula rest for about 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, so back to the piyaju. We're gonna take some of these onions, put them in the bowl, and add some cumin, 1 spoon of cumin, some salt, a really small bit of chili powder, a bit of turmeric, and some coriander. Now what you want to do is mix these onions and spices together really well so they can interlock with each other and the flavors will become more intense. After you've combined all the spices and the onions together, you're going to add it directly into the paste of the lentil puree. Now once again, you must mix this together thoroughly so when the time comes for frying, the ingredients do not come apart. In addition to this, you want to add a bunch of cilantro into the mix as you are mixing the onions and the lentils together. So now once you have let the aloo chop mixture rest, you're going to go back to it after it is down to a safe temperature. You want to have good clean hands before you do this, remember. And you want to combine the mixture thoroughly. I'm making the small little patties which can be easily fried in the hot oil. now what we have here is the eggplant, the piaggio mixture, and the aloo chop patties. Now we're going to begin making the bacon. Take an eggplant strip and make sure to coat it thoroughly with the béchamel mixture. Afterwards, put it inside the hot oil and let it fry. Continue this process for the rest of the eggplant strips. Alright, next for the aloo chop, you're going to do the same thing. Submerge it into the béchamel fully, don't let any cracks open. Then once it is covered, gently put it into the oil and review this process for all the other ones. Alright, next up for the piaggio, you don't need an exact shape, just any flat shape would work for this. And now, take it and gently put in. Alright, welcome to the upstairs kitchen. Right now we're going to make the pomegranate juice. First things first, let's get a pomegranate from the fruit basket. And let's start preparing it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut off the top of the pomegranate for the crown. Once you got that off, you want to try to slit it into 4 parts. Make sure not to cut all the way through. Dig your fingers inside of it and break it open. You should be left with 4 chunks of the pomegranate. Next, you want to take a heavy spoon. In this case, I'm using a wooden spoon. And you want to smack the pomegranate on the back and get those seeds out. Alright, once you have all the arrows out of the pomegranate, you're going to rinse it under some cold water and make sure it gets clean thoroughly and all the membranes come off. As you can see, there are quite a few bits of membrane left, and we're going to take those out. Don't worry if we didn't take all of them out. We don't want to waste much anyway. Okay, let's first sift out all the water. Let's put it in the blender. Okay, now add a little squeeze of lemon juice and add a bit of water to make sure it solidifies and blends properly. Let's start blending.
Bruh. No.
That's not as much as I thought. Okay, so now we take the second pomegranate that we definitely had before. Let's put it into the blender. Let's add a little bit more water to make sure it can blend well. Okay, so next we're going to take the blended mixture and use the sifter to sift out all the seeds and other grainy parts. Make sure to move around all the blended material so the liquid can move through the sifter. Alright, so next is to add the sweetener. Once you have the fully liquefied form of the pomegranate juice, as it is right now, you can drink it on its own without any sweeteners, which is probably the healthiest version. But if you would like to add something sweet in it, you can add a bit of honey, or as I prefer to add organic sugar, cane sugar. In this case, I'm adding around 3 tablespoons of sugar. It's a little bit, but if you know anything about Deshi people, is that they love their sweet things. Now it's time to mix it all up. Now to add a bit of ice. make it a little bit cooler and pulse that till it's grounded up. Alright, there you go. An antioxidant-rich, delicious pomegranate juice that will surely make you feel a lot better after a hard day, work, and fasting.
And there you have it. These were some of the dishes my family usually eats for iftar. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed. If you would like me to make more cooking videos, comment down below. Until then, see you later.